Hello, everyone. My name is Emil Westling. I'm a applied mathematics and computer science double major. I'm currently a junior, and I am here to talk about my summer internship that I completed last summer 2022. We're playing Wofford the day of Furman engaged, which is why I have to do a pre-recorded video, but I will do the best of it. Um, So yeah, anyways, I entered at Crunchfish. It's a small tech company. I say small, it's publicly listed, but it's still relatively small, about like 40, 50 employees. Um, yeah, it's located in Sweden, close where I live. So I went back home for the summer and stayed at my house and just commuted to work every day. It was very convenient in that way. And yeah, the company consists of two subdivisions, one of which is specializing in digital cash payments. Um, they're basically just trying to change the payment system in the world, and instead of having physical cash, they want to turn it into digital cash, and which is basically is a bit of an abstract concept. Um, it's something the central bank has control over, and it should enable offline payments. And it shouldn't be dependent on whether the bank or is you have a connection to the bank or not. Um, but yeah, I won't go into I'll spare you details of that. But it's a cool concept, and they have a lot of they have a lot of success currently, especially in India and other third world countries around the world where a reliable Wi-Fi connection isn't a given. But anyways, the other part of the company specializes in touchless interactions with devices and basically hand gesture. Um, um, they have algorithms and programs that are trained, machine learning algorithms that are trained to recognize different hand gestures. And so this can be helpful if um instead if you're sitting at home in front of your TV and you want to turn up the volume, you could, instead of grabbing your remote, you can do a hand gesture, and the TV will recognize that and turn up the volume. Or if you're in a shopping mall, for example, and there's a public display and you don't want to touch it, um, instead of having to touch the display, you could do different hand gestures, and you can interact with the display in that way instead. So that's also pretty cool um, field that the company specializes in. Um, but yeah, I um, I think I mentioned that I entered as my role was a software engineering intern. I worked with a bunch of software engineers and product managers, and in particular, I had two software engineers that supervised me and just made sure I was making progress on my projects. And if I had any questions, I could talk to them. And yeah, they were basically just there if I need support. And if I finished one project, they could start me up with another one. Um, but yeah, so I worked a little bit on both sides of the company. I have my desk on the gesture side, and what I did on that side was I so in order to train their machine learning algorithms, they need um, a lot of data points and just a bunch of data so that to test and train their algorithms with. And so the first 2 weeks or so, I was basically just gathering new data. I was by the I was basically just in a public space with with a bunch of their setup and recording material, and asked strangers if they would be able to help me out and if I could record their hands while they were doing different gestures, which was pretty cool. Um, I collected a lot of data these couple of weeks, and then so it was during these 2 weeks. I was basically just one day I was collecting data, and then the other day I was um, uploading all the data to my computer and made sure everything looked all right. And if it didn't look all right, I used the programming language Python to manipulate it and um, just make the data usable, which was pretty cool. It was I think it was my first batch of data that was too dark, so I had to write a Python script to make all the different images brighter, and I was basically just going through each pixel in the pictures and turn up the brightness, which is pretty cool. Um, but yeah, and then the other project I work on for the digital cash side was I wrote um a certificate parser. So in order to enable to ensure that digital payments are secure, you need to have certificates verify the um, to verify the sender or receiver aren't scammers. And so I had to write Java programs that parsed the certificates and converted them into useful information. And the code I wrote it was supposed to be uh, run on a small chip, one of those that you have on a credit card or a debit card, but this chip could be placed on anything really, a ring you had or a bracelet or a watch, or anything like that really. But yeah, that was probably my favorite project. It took a long time as well, and it was pretty involved. And it was actually very useful for the other software engineers. I saved them a lot of time. Um, and then yeah, I learned a bunch during my experience. I This was my first professional experience, so I just got a better understanding of what it's actually like to work for a company and working in an office environment. And aside from that, my programming skills improved a lot, both in the in all the languages I used. And it was also helpful, like understanding how um, industry um, industry accepted code should be written. And yeah, and then also my communication skills got better. I had to interact a lot with my colleagues. I had to write a lot of emails, had to talk in front of the whole company and tell them as a whole, basically a small talk about what I've been doing during my time with the company, um, which was enjoyable. Um, and yeah, I'll talk quickly about how this experience will impact my future. Um, and so when I was sitting there, I realized it might not be exactly what I want to work with in the future, even though it was a great experience and I enjoyed the time there. Um, I think I want to work with something that's a little bit more, um, or where I work more with people and it's not as monotonous as a software engineering role. Um, so yeah, ever since then I've been looking into different careers. Um, Not outside in a similar field, but not exactly software engineering field. I'd rather do something that's a bit more fulfilling in my opinion. And yeah, I'd rather and that's what internships are for as well. You need to figure yourself out and you need to understand what you're actually interested in. So I'm very grateful I got this opportunity and will be something I'll always remember. And now I'm looking forward to my next internship this next summer. But yeah, thank you very much.